Hello?
Hey, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hopefully my mic works.
Brushes from
Hey guys, I feel like lawyers might forget today's meeting. I just wonder if anyone want to volunteer to host.
I'm sorry, you need someone to host?
Yeah, I think lawyers is the host. But I feel like he might forget today's meeting. Right.
So you can't, well, it's recording though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean, are you talking about future meetings?
No, just today. Like I opened lawyers like privately to see if like if he's coming next meeting. He usually attend the meetings. But like he's absent today. Maybe he forget it or he's too busy like with other things today and forget this meeting.
Well, do I have? Well, we could just go over the agenda from the 21st, get some updates and call it a day.
Yeah.
Looks like our last meeting back on the 21st, we had a chaos white paper that we were discussing. Karthik, are you there? Looks like there was a draft. I don't know if anybody got a chance to take a look at it. It doesn't look like Karthik has signed in, so he possibly is not around. Here is, there's the link to his white paper. Oh, I chopped off something. Try that again. Doesn't look like there's been any comments on it, but it looks like he's gotten some high level structure to it. Kind of an interesting white paper for app delivery. We had but then we had our conveyor demo. And then we had an update from the GitOps working group. Anybody from the working group? Actually, I think I tried to dial into the last working group meeting and maybe it got canceled. Not sure. Maybe I was maybe I was late. I don't know. But maybe get an update. Is anybody here from the working group that can give an update?
Sure. Not sure if there is any update. Let's see what happened. The only thing that I can see on the list from last time that you talked about it is that we have set up a GitOps or the working group has set up an event committee to help spread awareness and things like that, help with people's events related to GitOps. And obviously, as KubeCon North America is coming up, starting to look into what we can do there.
So is there talk about doing a GitOps con in North America like we did it in there? Oh, there is.
Yeah. So at least now we have some time to prepare. So
yeah, exactly.
The last one was really quickly put together, but now we have some time to prepare. And there's also other people that are doing GitOps related events that have now come to us and asked if we can help with certain things. So there's an event committee that's going to be helping people with their events.
Do we know how, I know from working with the CDF that those co-located events they get kind of taken fairly quickly. Do we know if we've identified or at least said that we wanted a slot, or if WeaveWorks and Red Hat are looking at doing it again?
I think the more or less all the people that were involved with the European one is also involved in this one. So I think they already have established contact with the KubeCon people and everything like that. I wasn't part of that, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that KubeCon EU, you can be a little tardy on things, but not North America.
Yeah, they already started contacting people and doing all those things. But I think everything is set up there, to be honest. So I think there's gonna, at least it's gonna happen, right? That's the update on that. GitOps principles are still something that is discussed. There is the PR. I'm guessing that's the same PR as. Let me just check.
So Robert, just one question.
Yep.
Like when people talking about GitOps, are they talking about the whole CI/CD pipeline or just the application delivery part, like what Argo CD and Flux does?
So it's more or less the let's call it the method of doing operations through Git. So in the vaguest sense possible, which is why the GitOps principles are something that we're trying to establish, right? That kind of says what does actually GitOps mean. So yeah, obviously there's a lot of things related to Flux and Argo CD and things like that, but there's also like how should you deal with your infrastructure and application. So it doesn't really matter if it's application or infrastructure. It's just the fact that you should operate through Git, and these are the principles that are controlling that and when you should do what, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Thanks.
Yeah. So the PR that's been linked is the same, the PR, which is now closed. I think everything was battle out there. There's also a PR in the Open GitOps. Let's see, Open GitOps. Let's see if I can find it. So a PR for actual first draft of the principles. So everything that we've done in the working group put together, and then under the banner of Open GitOps, which is the project that this will result in. And there's a little back and forth on spelling and things like that. So we're taking our time with it. But I would expect that the at least like 0.1 version of the principles to be released pretty soon. All the hard stuff has been battled through. And other than that, I'm not sure if there is any updates from the GitOps working group. Yeah.
There was a note sometime back in February about the landscape, and it said still on hold. What were you guys working on with the landscape? Were we looking at doing some maybe integration with the CDF landscape on app delivery? Was there a topic?
Yeah, no, well, it's been talked about, right? But we haven't started working on that due to the fact that we are still kind of trying to get those. The principles are like the number one priority.
So you're talking
And
about the landscape for GitOps principles. I mean, that question was just a general one back in February. There was just a note that said landscape on hold.
oh yeah, well, it's the GitOps landscape. I'm not sure if it's going to be a landscape or like a map or a radar or whatever word you want to use for it. But in some sense, at some point, there's going to be more things created around the different tooling and how to implement things, and that might be in a landscape or map or radar type capacity. But everything's related to that is very much on hold, as the main priority has been the GitOps principles. As soon as 0.1 version of the GitOps principles are out, we probably would have smaller updates. But, this is the one big one where everything's kind of like it's the basis for everything, right? So it's been going back and forth when we had weekly meetings related to the GitOps principles. So we really just haven't had time to do anything other than that, and with KubeCon and etc. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm wondering if the existing landscape should have, like in the CDF, maybe we should be adding a GitOps square.
Yeah, it would be interesting if you had like a filter thing, like this is GitOps, and then you just get the GitOps related things. But I'm not sure what people have planned in regards to that in particular.
Maybe I'll bring it up to the CDF TOC.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal. We could at least add, Flex and Argo in there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Victor, do you have any thoughts on having something like a GitOps segment on the CDF landscape to include to put Flux in there? Any thoughts?
Not yet. I just joined for the first time, so I'm not up to date.
I know nothing.
But yes, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that I will have some thoughts about GitOps. I'm not sure what's going on yet.
Do you know where Flux shows up in the CNCF landscape?
Where? I'm not sure where. I know it's there though.
Yeah, it's such a big
Yeah,
landscape.
absolutely.
It's too hard to look through.
To be honest, I stopped looking through it. I think it's madness.
It is madness, but the CDF's not, landscape is still pretty small. So we could probably
Yeah.
expose it there better to see, to start building something like that out. That's why I can ask the TOC if they would be interested in doing it. It's not a big deal to add that stuff.
Right,
But-
right now there is like there is this serverless, tab there, and you kind of get things related to that. It shouldn't be an issue being able to do that with other things, which obviously GitOps is. There's a lot of products that can be looked at as a GitOps product, but this is
Well,
why
I'm
we're
just
getting the
thinking-
principles down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about at least the primary,
Mm,
some of the primary operators, right? Rancher has one.
yeah. Yeah, Rancher has one, and there's Argo CD and Flux.
And and keep in mind that in these landscapes, there is a rule that you can't put your logo into the landscape in multiple locations. So let's say if you're not truly a GitOps, if let's say you do something around interfacing with GitOps, an operator, I don't know, maybe grabbing information out of the repository and tracking it, something of that sort. Unless that was going to be, they wanted that to be your primary focus, you would, and you had your logo in another category, you wouldn't be able to put it in two places. But something
Right.
like Argo and Flux, they're right now in continuous integration and delivery in the CDF, in the CNCF, which makes sense. But the CDF now, if you go down to the bottom corner, it has everything in that category expanded out, but we don't have in that, if you look at that, we don't have a GitOps square.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe I bring that up and we, at least the CDF, put in a GitOps square where Flux and Argo would show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just important. When you say Argo, you need to be more specific. There are 4 projects over there. So I guess you're talking about Argo CD, right?
Argo CD, yes. Yeah, we would pull the Argo CD logo in there. I'm not sure what the other projects are that Argo are working on. I don't know if they all are in the GitOps area or if they're in different areas.
No, so Argo workflows is effectively pipelines or CI/CD or whatever somebody calls pipelines these days. And rollouts is progressive delivery.
Right. So they'd have to decide if they wanted to be represented in the GitOps square or if they wanted to be put in kind of the pipeline orchestration square, I guess.
But those are 4 basically independent projects. I mean, there is a connection between them, but they're managed as separate projects, separate repositories. So I guess it would be fair to say that they're just managed under one organization, right? But 4 projects. So Argo workflows can be pipelines, while Argo CD is GitOps, right?
Yeah, the way this works, though, if you have to put a primary one in. You can't have multiple.
But is it primary per organization or per project?
Primary per organization.
Okay. So that would mean that Rancher, for example, which has like, let's say HashiCorp, which gets like 7, 8, 9, nobody knows how many projects, they would still pick one.
They'd have to pick their primary.
Okay.
Yeah, can you imagine if everybody had multiple ones, how big the CNCF landscape would be?
No. I understand that, but kind of bigger organizations that have like tens of projects.
Think about IBM or anybody like that. They've got tons of stuff out there. They just have to pick their primary.
Yeah.
But in any case, we basically just have put a pin in it for now. We have several other ideas of things that will come out of the GitOps working group or will be part of the open GitOps project. Everything depending. So for now, we're just been focusing on the principles, and we had the events that have been a lot of work. So that's why things haven't moved forward on the landscape or radar or map or whatever you want to call it at the end.
Okay, well, I'll bring it up to the, at least over on that side, so at least maybe we can start talking about having an actual placeholder for starting to gather tooling around the GitOps space for those
Right.
tools who want to be focused on GitOps.
Cool.
And I'm looking through the past agenda. I don't think there's nothing really that we haven't touched on, at least. So did anybody make it to GitOps Con? I was on for a while. It was kind of fun. I like the way it was done.
It's semi-chaos in the back end, but you know, that's how events work.
It didn't feel like it on the front end.
Oh,
Everything
good.
seemed
Well,
fine. Yeah, everything seemed totally fine. I was on vacation, so I was like hanging out by a pool, and I had to run in and check what time it was so I knew if I was on or not. But I watched some of the sessions, and I thought the general format of how it was put together was it was fine.
yeah, we got a lot of good CAPs, and it's kind of hard to choose things, but I think we chose the right ones, and
Yeah.
so looking forward to seeing what North America will bring of when it comes to CFPs.
And I'm looking forward to doing it in person instead.
I am too. It'll be a whole
I wish I could, but you know, I'm in Norway, so it's gonna be a long way to walk.
That is a problem, right? You know, it seems I have learned that while virtual events have its drawbacks in terms of handshaking, man, it has really democratized the education around what we normally do at conferences. I mean, in our open source community, we've been really working hard to build a diverse community. So we have people in Pakistan, we have people in in Cape Town, we have some women in Nigeria, and I promise you, they're never going to be able to go to an in-person event. Like the person from Cape Town, he's like, just to get there would be $7,000.
Yep.
And there's just no way that he could afford it or an employer would pay for it.
Now I live in the capital in Norway, but as someone who lived in the far north, in the Arctic, just going down south in Norway for conferences was expensive enough. So, you know, going to a different continent, yeah, that's gonna be hard. But we'll see when everything opens, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sort of hoping on some of these bigger conferences when we have the option to do co-located events, especially around topics that really need education, like GitOps, that we can continue doing. It's some kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, everybody, I guess that's 30 minutes. I've got another call I have to drop off to do. Hope everybody is well, and I guess our next call is in 2 weeks.
Sure. Cool beans.
Okay.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.